Since signing a two-way contract with the Toronto Raptors in the offseason, Yuta Watanabe has found it a little bit difficult to get consistent play time so far this season. He's getting sporadic minutes in some games, not playing in other games, but I, for one, think that should change. Let's get into it. Welcome to Amateur Sports, where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 days a week, as well as at least 3 live streams a week. So if it is your first time hearing me today and you like what you see, you want more of myself talking about the Toronto Raptors in videos or live streams just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, show your support, join the movement of the channel. We're pretty new to live streaming, but we are having a ton of fun with it. The chat is great. We're rolling with it. We're having a great time with it, and unfortunately, we won't be live streaming tonight for the game against the Milwaukee Bucks. However, we will be live streaming Friday night for the Raptors game, so make sure you are there for that. Check it out, come hang out, have some fun while you watch the Raptors game with me. But today, we are talking about Yuta Watanabe, who has been a guy we see in some limited spells. Sometimes he'll get a few minutes, sometimes he'll get extended minutes in a game, and other times he won't get any minutes in a game. But I think that Yuta Watanabe deserves more minutes out on the court. And today, we are going to discuss the impact he can have on the Toronto Raptors and how he can improve that impact over time. So, over the offseason, signed a two-way contract with the Raptors, and I didn't think much of it. He had spent 2 years in Memphis where, again, he wasn't getting consistent minutes. However, he had that little bit of an effect to entice Raptors scouts into bringing him in, and it's no wonder why they would have brought him in. Yuta Watanabe has a lot of intelligence and IQ for the defensive end of the basketball game, and plus, he's got very good size, athleticism, and ball handling. I think a good player comparable that we talked about in my chat is Tony Kukoc. The ability to have the size to be a power forward, but also have the ball handling and athleticism to be kind of like a guard. I would classify Yuta Watanabe really as a point forward. Because of his handling and because of his size, it offers the Raptors a little bit on offense. But what we really like from Yuta Watanabe is what he brings to you on the defensive end. Coming from Japan to play college ball in the US, he really had to develop more facets of his game to get into the NBA. And after going undrafted, he eventually found a home with the Memphis Grizzlies. But again, games were hard to come by. Really never eclipsed 20 games in an NBA season, but has already played more than 10 games for the Toronto Raptors this season. So it's good to see him getting some more play time. And what I've really liked about Watanabe is his intelligence on the defensive end. Not just about, on-ball stopping, because he's good at that as well, but just his ability to read spaces, read the other team's offense, what they want to do, and he's just good at disrupting the play. He just doesn't let the offense run primary options, makes it just that little bit more difficult for the other team, and sometimes that is enough to get a stop. But in other occasions, on-ball defending, he is very good with his on-ball defending, really good at getting blocks at the rim, finding steals, just being a menace on defense. He's just somebody you wouldn't want to come up against when you're playing offense because he takes away spaces, he gets steals, he just makes your life more difficult, disrupts the play. And with his size, with his athleticism, he's able to guard multiple positions. I would say he can guard easily point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. Also, probably could guard a power forward position for a stretch four. Don't think I'd put him at the 5 slot. We got OG Anunoby, Stanley Johnson, Aaron Baines to do that, but he's definitely got potential to guard multiple positions, which is great for the Raptors, who need a lot of switchability. And again, putting smaller defenders on the bigs like OG Anunoby allows Yuta to get a good matchup where he's going up against a guy who is smaller than him, and Yuta can really use his size to his advantage. And honestly, I've been a huge fan from what I've seen from Yuta Watanabe so far this season. I think that the Raptors should honestly consider playing this guy more minutes, especially for a Raptors team who like playing with this small ball approach. They like playing a lot of small ball lineups with OG Anunoby at the 5. Maybe sometimes you've got Stanley Johnson at the 4, Pascal Siakam at the 4, along with Norm, Fred, and Kyle Lowry. Very small lineups like that. So I think it would be great to have Yuta Watanabe in the mix for those small ball lineups because, like I said, he does have the good handling to be a guard. However, he has the size to play like maybe a power forward. So on the defensive end, when you're lacking in size because you're playing small ball, we don't want to compromise, handling on the other end, on the offensive end. Yuta is the perfect player for that because he has the handling, yet he still has the size to be able to contribute more on defense. And I'm not saying play this guy like 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes a game, but I'm thinking like 10 to 15 minutes every single game is what Yuta Watanabe should be playing for the Raptors. I think we're clearly starting to see that he has a great defensive mind, and he is starting to turn a little bit more of a profit on the offensive end. Sure, he has a bit of his struggles on the inside, but Yuta Watanabe is a great shooter from three-point land. Like, so far this season, shooting about 42% from three, 5 for 12 from three at the time of recording. Yuta Watanabe definitely has that good sniper trait on the other end. However, what he needs to work on is his field goal percentages, because when he's inside the three-point line and he's got to play with a lot more defenders on him, that's when it's a bit tougher for him to get his points. Only 24% from the field, that is something he will have to work on to have a bigger impact on the Raptors, but I'm willing to compromise that because I know that Watanabe is a guy who can be the 5th choice player on offense. Will just stay out of the way of the the primary ball handlers, the primary scorers like the Freds, the Lowrys, the Siakams, like OG. He's willing to stay out of the way of those players and perform his role, create space, move a lot, and you see him always constantly ushering different positions on the offensive end to set up the right shots for other guys. And if he can create space for another player to get a basket, he has done his job on offense. But sometimes he'll peel out, he'll have an open three, and I say he can knock it down almost half of the time, which is great for the Raptors. And it's great for him to be able to contribute those sort of points to the Raptors because he does play that great defense. And I only think that, in his limited time in the NBA so far, hasn't gotten a lot of minutes. If he were to get more minutes on a consistent basis, I think we'd see a lot of improvements from Watanabe on the other end of the court, on the offensive end, because he already has fantastic qualities to play as, the defensive stopper, to play as a guy who can guard multiple positions, who has switchability, who can get blocks, who can get steals. But if he can make his offensive game a little more polished, we would have a very nice bench player on our hands. We know he's got the three ball, we know he's got the defense, but I think he needs to work on his inside game, being a little bit more confident at taking it to the rim, because like I said, he does have that good size, and typically we do play him as a wing. So if there is a wing defender on him, likely he will have a size advantage. Needs to work a little bit on using the size to get on the inside, because he's got a lot of great traits. I think that just cleaning up the inside game will make him to go to the next level. We'll get him that proper NBA contract rather than that two-way contract. I've been pretty excited from what I've seen from Yuta. I'm not claiming he's this huge impact player, but he definitely can be a role player, a guy who comes off the bench every game for the Raptors, gets his 10 minutes, and does his job on defense and does his job on offense. Definitely can become better, definitely become more confident on the inside, but with the three ball already there, he has nice 3-and-D potential for the Toronto Raptors. His per 36 stats are definitely telling for me because he's averaging 10 rebounds a game per 36, which is absolutely sensational for a guy who's listed as a small forward. Great stuff to be getting that many rebounds a game. And he's also averaging 2.7 blocks per game in his per 36 statistics. So a lot of stuff goes right when Yuta Watanabe is on the court, in my opinion, and it boils down to just his smarts on defense, his ability to process the other team's offense and cut away spaces, make life more difficult for the other players. It's definitely a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting Watanabe to come in and have the impact that he is having, and I think that the impact that we've already seen can be even greater. Wasn't expecting him to be this good from a defensive standpoint. Knew what he had offensively, knew he had the three-point shot, and didn't really have that inside game, but I had no idea the skill set he has on defense, and the stats really don't tell everything when it comes to this player, because sure, he's got those 2.7 blocks per game over 36. Sure, he's got those 10 rebounds per game over 36. But the eye test is the biggest thing for Yuta. And Yuta definitely does pass the eye test. Again, just occupying spaces, covering so much ground, so much of the court on defense. It's really a unique skill set that he has. It's very rare to see a guy with his size to be able to ball handle like that and also have that defensive IQ to make those stops on the other end, to make it easier for other Raptors players on defense to stick to their assignments. I think Watanabe has potential to be a good impact player for the Raptors. I'm wondering if he will get an NBA contract at the end of the season, but I really hope Yuta Watanabe does not end up going to the G League bubble. I know he is on that two-way contract, but I think that he has his role with this Toronto Raptors NBA team, and I think that the role can be even greater with all these qualities that he possesses. If he can work on that inside game, we've got a great player on our hands. I want to give props to the Raptors scouting yet again for really getting a smart player here. The scouts have done a great job finding these gems over the years, and I think they may have found another role player gem in Yuta Watanabe here. Hopefully, the rest of his season is successful with the Raptors, and hopefully he can find a home in the NBA beyond this season. Hopefully, that is with the Raptors, and he can grow into that bigger role that I think he has potential to fulfill. So we've all seen quite a bit of Yuta Watanabe at this point in the season. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on this player? The start of the season, I'll admit, I was a bit of a doubter, but I am pretty sold on his ability to play for the Raptors and think he should get a bigger role. But all of your thoughts and opinions, let me know in the comments down below. But that wraps it up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, please like the video if you like, and subscribe to Amateur Sports for more content just like this. We got 4 Raptors themed videos every week, plus we do those live streams, the watch along live streams. Unfortunately, won't be doing one tonight for the game against the Milwaukee Bucks. However, we will be available for a live stream on Friday. I hope to see you guys there. I'm excited to bring you that content. The live streams, I think they get better every time we do it, and we're only on an upward trend here. Thank you for watching. Again, at the end of the day, I believe what I say. If you disagree, that is okay. We'll see you again next time for another video.